stopping by. We had a few good games, well, today, as well as the previous week going into the Madden Bowl. So, but the last game of the day, let's do a quick recap of what happened today. So, in the first game, Wesley faced off against Noah. Noah kind of ran away with that one. It was a blowout, and the next game, it was probably the game of the tournament so far between Clef and
Henry.
hold on there. Yeah, Henry. I draw a blank sometimes. I apologize. But that was a good game. It came down. Clef drove all the way down to tie the game up, and then Henry got the ball, and which is uncharacteristic, through a straight lurk, and then Clef got a pick six. However, the game that's going to be coming up pretty soon is going to be a rematch from the club championship between Drini and Voltrax. Now everyone knows that Voltrax won that game. There was a second half touchdown run that he busted off. That was probably one of the greatest runs throughout the tournament, throughout the MCS this year. Honestly, I don't really know who I like in this game, but I think Drini's gonna pull this one off. But Shane, do you,
Yeah,
what?
I actually agree. I think I think Drini wins, but it'll be like 17-14 or 21-14.
Yeah, I agree too, because I feel like there's more at stake for Drini than Voltrax, because Voltrax, he already made his money. He won a belt this year, but I mean, with Drini, you've seen him talk, and he's saying that he wants to be known as one of the greatest. So he's definitely going to be striving for revenge on that game. So I got Drini coming away with that one. So
When I was watching the Henry and Clef game, when Clef tied it up at 10, I was watching Henry, and I knew, like, I was almost going to hit you up, Trey. I was almost going to say he's going to do something poor. Like, he was going to make a
yeah,
poor mistake, and he did. I could tell all over his face that he was struggling, man. He was struggling, and he was going to make a
yeah,
mistake right there because he thought he had it in the bag. I felt like he played a little conservative, but not smart time management. Like, he was hiking it too soon. I would have made it go lower each time. I
yeah.
think he hiked it at like 18 or 19 a couple times when he was up 10 or 7. And then Clef got
Right.
the ball back where he wouldn't have scored if it wasn't for that. But anyways,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was an interesting game. It kind of came down to the wire. And I mean, I feel like, with Henry, like, I would have thought that there would have been no way that Clef would have, drove down the way it did. But he did, and I mean, I think it's a combination of both. I think Henry choked, but it was also a good drive by Clef. So it was kind of a mixture of both there. You could tell that Henry was really frustrated that he, threw that bad pass, but definitely uncharacteristic. And I think the pick was because I feel like he just didn't want to go to overtime, so he just like tried to force some throws that just weren't there because he didn't want to go into overtime.
I'll
So
tell you, your brain gets tight though, man. Like, people think that it's just a video game, but it's about money, and your brain gets tight, and you make things that later on you're like, wow, I did that.
yeah, oh yeah, I mean for sure. And just playing Madden and and I mean these guys are playing for like a lot higher stakes, but I mean for me like I mean shoot like when I play games and I make some bad choices, so I can't imagine how these guys perform,
Oh yeah,
but
it's
what?
hectic.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. So going forward, we still have a lot of obviously the wild card games are going on today. Going on tomorrow though is the quarterfinals. So we're gonna see the guys that had first round buys in action. So do you think that it's almost a benefit? Like, do you think that it's a benefit for the guys that do have the first round buy to get that extra day to study, or do you think that it's going to be kind of like more rusty, or do you think it just kind of depends on the person?
You know what? I'm almost 50-50 on it because the main takeaway from you getting a bye is you usually get the lower seed, and
Hmm.
then number two, you get to see how they play. You get to lab that night with your crew or your friend or by yourself. So that's a huge benefit. But the negative is when you're in a tournament, the other person's played and got their butterflies out of the way usually.
Right.
Whereas the person who hasn't played still has some butterflies, and don't let them say that there isn't any butterflies. So to me, I would prefer having the bye, obviously, because you're one win closer to winning money and winning the title. So yeah, I'd lean towards that, but it's 50-50 in a way.
Yeah. So I mean, going forward, um, the person that I think might have a serious chance is I think that for me, Decroft is a guy that I've been watching play, and I just feel like, well, for one, he's in a crew, he's in the TNC crew with Civil. I mean, I don't believe that any other TNC members were in this event, but Civil made a run in the club championship a while back. So, but I think for me, that's going to be the person that's going to be kind of interesting because I just feel like he has like a different scheme from everyone else. Him and Draney. I think the thing with Draney that's more impressive is that I feel like he has a mixture of competitive style, but like sim style, like in one. Like I don't feel like he's like too afraid to go out of his comfort zone and just like try to run some different plays. But who do you who are you looking for moving forward? Like who do you think ultimately is gonna win?
Um, it's really hard for me to say. I could see Clef, I could see
Yeah,
Draney. I mean, I don't see Pavon winning. I don't at all. But I could be
yeah,
wrong. He could continue and pull out wins, but I think Clef or Drini right now are the favorite to win it all. I think Clef
yeah,
might get over the hump. I'll predict Clef winning it all. I think
yeah.
he'll get over the hump.
And this is a big tournament too because like what everyone's saying about is because like you have all these people that are putting in like punters at quarterback and like 12 cap quarterbacks, and it seems like because the first two tournaments were won from runners, people that like to run the ball, and so now everyone's I guess the consensus is that no one I guess they want a passer to win, which I wouldn't mind, but it's like my thing is that I feel like running, even though people want to say, oh, it takes no skill, this and that, but I mean, is passing really that much skillful? Like, I mean, you're running bunch, and
Yeah,
you're just like rolling out of the pocket and like glitching out zones. So it's like,
it's the same thing to me. It's whatever anyone likes or what has been
yeah,
oversaturated. Like, watch next year. Next year is going to be a passing game, and people by the end of the
yeah,
year are going to be complaining that passing's annoying. It's what happened in Madden 19 with Bunch. People got pissed off about the whole Pat Sales um, running the same play over and over, and it's boring. Blah blah blah. I think besides like the top couple hundred players, I think more people want like a real football game simulation. I think
yeah,
they'd like passing and running to matter, and I think a lot of them, like at least what I've been hearing, is they'd like the offensive line and defensive line to actually matter. Like if you have Michael Vick or Lamar Jackson or Russell Wilson or Patrick Mahomes behind like 65 overall linemen, they're going to get sacked a lot. They might make some
Yeah.
magic once in a while, but they're not going to run backwards, you know what I mean, roll out, cross body throw it. It's just not going to happen. I think that if they want to take the next step, which, I mean, it won't matter to them about what I have to say anyways. I'll say this next year and the year after. But I really think they should make it where the offensive line matters and the defensive line matters. More so the offensive line. Like, if I put money into my offensive line, they should be blocking, like the 78 overall defense end who has 93 speed.
Oh yeah. And I mean, and I think that that's gonna make it's gonna make competitive Madden more interesting because I mean now I mean you're seeing like it's either one of two. It's either they have Bo Jackson with human joystick and no punter, or it's like they have all receivers. It's really all the same team. But I feel like if EA tried to make it more like simulation, I think then is when you're gonna see more schemes like and more people putting more cap into different teams in different ways. And I believe people say that Mutt or the salary cap players like is it more skillful than Regs or Mud Draft, and I think there is a skill to knowing how to build a team and knowing like what cap is this and what cap is that, but at the same time, not really because everyone's kind of doing the same thing. So,
Yeah, and if you notice, which I think they're trying to change it with the matchmaking. I think they, like I said week, I believe they're trying to work on this, and this is more like a demo on Madden 20, so they can see how it works for
mhm.
Madden 21. But for all honesty, is enough pros won't play the first month in
Yeah,
the ladders. Then they find out what works. They congregate with each other. Then they all use the same, players, schemes, and then they just beat up
hmm
on
yeah,
people that aren't as
exactly.
good or try
Yeah,
to run it but aren't as good. But yeah, that's exactly my point. Real quick, I want to shift to Madden 21 really quick, if that's okay, Trey.
yeah, go for it.
Okay, so what I was told is July 24th was the goal for Madden 21.
Hmm.
I don't know if that was going to be if you had the top edition, where you can play it a couple days early, or if that was just
Yeah,
overall Madden coming out July 24th, because they really are trying to make it year round, except a couple months, I believe, from like mid-May to mid-July. You know what I mean?
right.
So they're trying to do that, but unfortunately with COVID, they had to have people go home, work from home. Some stuff has been getting stuck. What I have been told is that August 7th, and I think that's a Friday, is Madden 21 date that they're looking at now, August 5th or 4th, but most likely the 5th if you buy the top edition. Now, he said there is
Yeah.
a chance that if they can start having people back to work, they might be able to push it to late July or push it to late July. But right now, he believes in a week or two they'll come out with early August is the release date. He says though you'll also have to look around for the beta if it's in June or late June or early July. You'll know it's about a month away. That was a tip that he gave me. So if the beta comes out, you guys, in like mid-June, we might get it actually in late July, Madden 21. But if the beta comes out like July, it's coming out in August.
Right, right. So I mean, and you made a video yesterday explaining, how your insider guy has any information. So, and I guess what the trailer is, there was a trailer with Patrick Mahomes. It was, I believe it was kind of like they were doing like a demo run showing off the new Xbox. Um, that's going to be coming out pretty soon, as well as the new PS5. Pretty crazy how we're moving into the next gen. So,
Yeah, and
but they're
those were the holidays.
the holidays, correct. So we're moving to next gen, but I guess what the trailer is saying, and which is something that I'm kind of trying to figure out is it's not about what you can see, but it's about what you can feel. And me personally, I have no idea what that could mean. Do you have any ideas, or maybe have you asked your insider about potentially like gameplay things, or is it just strictly about release?
I just
On
asked
that.
about the release. I didn't ask anything else
Okay.
because I just like to know. I'm not really worried about the gameplay. I know they were working on trying to tone down abilities, which I would love if they toned that
Hmm.
down. But other than that, besides that, and when the release date is, I haven't really been bugging him. I don't want to bug him all the time. I felt like this Madden 20 I asked way too much, if you want to know the truth.
Right.
But he did, like I said, he did tell me that they're looking at an early August release date. Hopefully, if they can get back to working together, they can maybe get it back to late July, but he thinks it's going to be early August. But also, you guys, I did ask on the poll thread what you guys were looking forward to on Madden 21, and Trey, you said it was play Mutt and spend money on Mutt.
Yeah. So that's the winner of the poll for when Madden 21 comes out. So also be on the lookout for polls going up every Thursday. It's usually about it was kind of worded a little bit differently than this time. Usually it's like what would you like to have asked, and then it was like a question. But this time it was asked a question, and then you guys gave your input on it. So,
I
but
know I'm gonna be spending money on Mutt, bro. Right when it
oh
comes
yeah,
out. Right when it comes out, I'm gonna be
you
spending
gotta.
money. I mean, cause like they don't even care about Like I heard that they didn't even do like head-to-head like rankings. Is that true or no?
Wait, what? Say that again.
For
I'm
Madden
sorry,
20,
I
did
didn't
they
hear
do
that right.
head-to-head rankings, like online rankings, or did they not?
Do you mean like did they have like the leaderboard and stuff like
Yeah.
that for? Oh yeah, yeah,
Oh,
they
they did.
still
They did.
have
Okay.
that. Yeah.
This guy told me that they didn't, but I didn't check.
Yeah, no, they still have. He might be talking about something different, but in terms of because I know they took it out. It used to be to where like say that you played someone on online head to head just with regular teams, and you could like compare stats and be like, okay, this guy is this good, but they took that out. It hasn't been in the game since Madden 18, but in terms of
Oh,
like
okay, okay.
the the top 100, that's still there.
I did hear though,
So,
Trey, that they might have the Madden Classic online for regs, but I don't know if that's true. I just know that some pros were talking about it on Twitter that they're trying to see if they don't open it up because California, is really, really tight on lifting
yeah.
regulations, that possibly the Madden 21 Classic will either be online, which that was a rumor swirling, or Texas, which I can't remember who told me Texas, but
Yeah.
that'd be cool if it was online.
Oh yeah, then like it would open up the field to everybody.
Yeah.
You
Oh, I
know,
totally agree.
yeah. And I mean last year, I mean I think for me the best, and I wasn't really playing Madden really at this time, but when I look back to the Madden 18 regs tournament, I think that was probably the one of the better tournaments because it was like you had to like pay your way to get in, but they had like multiple cities that they stopped in. But I believe for like the last couple of years, it's only been like one city, and then you just show up there and play.
Yeah,
So
oh, for the tournaments?
yeah,
Yeah, I think it's Rosewood, California.
Yeah. But I know in like Madden 18 and Madden 17 it was they had like a Vegas one, but they had like a Texas one and like a California one. So it was like, you know,
Oh, okay, yeah, 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 for Madden the
yeah,
Classic. Okay, yeah, yeah, I know what you mean.
yeah, yeah,
I just don't know how it's gonna work because, like, I mean, they're already struggling to see if like Major League Baseball will be back, or NBA, or NFL, or college sports. Which I mean, honestly, I know I might get hated for it, but eventually you got to start opening things up.
yeah,
It's been a little bit of time.
yeah. Real life has to resume eventually. I mean,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
and
I'm like, yeah, and
no, go
I'm
ahead.
sitting here like I still haven't got a haircut yet, so so it's like
Oh, you're
it's
open,
getting
huh?
yeah, it's getting rough out here. So
Like, I haven't gotten a haircut in like 2 months. You know what's hilarious? Well, it's not funny, so I'm not gonna say that. But like, what's that word called when it's like ironic? I was actually getting
ironic.
my haircut
Yeah.
like 3 days before they closed everything down.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, and the haircut person I was talking to, she was like, I don't think they'll close it down. It's not that big of a deal. And I'm like, yeah, I hope not. I hope everything's just normal. And like Washington State has literally been locked down since I think the 12th or 13th of March. I'm not. It might be a little bit later, maybe March
Hmm.
21st. I don't know, but it's been over 2 months now. Are you guys in
Yeah.
phases at all?
Yeah, I think that's what we're gonna do. I think that they're gonna like do I guess the second phase next week, and it's just gonna go by that is how I think it's gonna work. So
Oh, you guys are still locked down.
I mean I don't know I don't know like if you would say locked down. Um, I mean the barber shops and you know the restaurants and things like that aren't open. But I mean we don't have like curfews or anything like that. So I don't know how it works in like other states. So
Okay, yeah. For example, like us, we are we are completely locked down. Like we can't go to like inside restaurants. Can you go inside restaurants?
yeah, no, inside restaurants we can't, but like you know McDonald's is still open, for example. Like
For
you could go through a
drive-throughs, though.
drive-through.
Yeah, we can too.
You
Okay,
could
so
go.
you're locked down too.
Yeah.
Yeah, our phase two opens May 31st, and then phase three is June 20th, and then hopefully be free July 12th. So we'll see how it works then. I mean, see if people can, go out and be able to do stuff, and that makes a big deal. And the reason why we got on this topic is what are they going to do with the Madden Classic?
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I mean, if they have, I don't even know how they would do that. They would have to have like an online elimination round to do that because because obviously if you just made it available for everybody, like you're not gonna give everybody like just you know $5,000 equipment or however much it is. So
You know what I was thinking though? I was wondering if they like do it online, right? Like, let's
yeah,
just say they say $20 entry fee to grind. Then they do the online part just like they do clubs, LCQ, and MUT Draft. The winners out of that make the live event, right? Well, the live
right.
event would be mid-August, I believe, late
Hmm.
August.
Yeah,
Well, by then, that's what 3.5 months from now.
yeah.
Hopefully, they got better testing, so they might have people, the players go down there and get tested before they get into the building, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So they might work it that way.
Yeah, that would be cool too because and I know that you know they say that you know it's free to enter, you know the mud draft, you know you just have to grind, but I think there's a lot of people that are like goons and regs, but they just don't play as much games or you know they just don't have the money. But I think the Rex tournament will be interesting to see, that play out.
There
So
will be definitely different people, man. Like
yeah,
if it's online, it will definitely be a lot more people. And like I said, for the longest time, I was way better at regs than Mutt. I still don't completely understand Mutt, if you want to know the truth. And so yeah,
right.
there's different people that are better at regs than Mutt, and vice versa. But unfortunately, they made it Mutt for the most part because why? You got to spend
Make
money.
some more money. Yeah,
Yeah, you got to spend money, unfortunately.
yeah. All right, so going back to the original topic, I think which was when you get Madden 21, what are you gonna do? And I know you said you're gonna try to spend money and etc. So so do you think because by that time you're probably gonna get access to the beta, so you'll probably have a little bit of knowledge about how the game is. But I mean, what's your plan of attack to just get a feel for the game? Just play like a
Oh, during
bunch
the
of
beta?
yeah. Well,
Uh,
not the beta, but when the game comes out. But
honestly, I might either do head to head or I might just go to my own practice mode and try different things because the first month or first 6 weeks there will be one OP defense and one OP
hmm
offense, and if you can find it, you will be having a good chance to winning it all or making a live event and going far.
yeah. Well, I mean, that's what happened to I think his name was Stevie J. I think a couple years ago he was the one that discovered the toss. Like all he did was like toss left, toss right, and no one knew about it. And then he ended up making a deep run in the tournament.
Yeah,
So
has he done anything since then? I'm just wondering.
he was in the club series this year. He was the Bills
Oh,
club
that's right.
championship
That's
winner.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah, I forgot because clubs. I mean, a lot of people in it.
Oh yeah, for sure. But yeah, for sure. And I think it's gonna help out because I feel like I'm gonna be kind of the same way. I'm gonna try to try to put some time into the game and try to figure out what my scheme's gonna be. If I'm gonna try to run what I've been running or if it's something different. So
You know what's crazy is sorry, I had to put a dish away. Um, it's all gonna be what you can find out. And the thing is I think zones are gonna be OP to start the year, and then once people start complaining about it,
they're gonna get dumbed down again.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like what year was that, Trey, where the pros cried about the zones and they patched it and made it easier to throw on? Was it Madden 18?
I think it was Madden 18. Yeah.
And you know what's weird? Okay, this is what I like. I'm a little confused with, right?
Right.
I was I was the same passer as I was then as I am now. The zones didn't hurt me. So then I don't know if it's I can read zones better than a lot of them, which sounds egotistical, or
Right.
they just know how to manipulate. Like I didn't know that if you rolled out this year, you told me this,
Oh yeah.
that
Yeah. That.
it would screw the zones.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, and I kind of, like in for mud draft because I tried to do mud draft, but mud draft was kind of different because there was no escape artist, so you really couldn't maneuver outside the pocket as much. But in like salary cap, once the quarterback has escape artist and he rolls out of the pocket, the zones basically just stop playing zone.
Well,
So,
okay, you want to hear something funny? So I think Mutt Draft took more skill.
Yeah, I do too.
Okay, so get
Absolutely.
this. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to name the guy. I'm not going to give him any publicity. I don't really care to start arguing with the dude. So I played him in salary cap. I beat him barely. I played him
Mm,
in LCQ. He beat me a couple times. I beat him. Okay, I played him in MUT Draft twice and beat him by 30 plus both games.
damn.
He told me because MUT Draft is fake. And I said, bro, I go kill that noise, bro. Abilities bail people
Yeah.
out. And he went onto a tangent like I was so dumb and such an idiot. But I mean, his crew's a little bit toxic. But uh, I really believe that MUT Draft was more skill. Now, it did suck that like when I did draft my players, I had a great playbook for me, but I didn't have any fast wide receivers, so they could all press me in the tournament,
And you couldn't really do
and I
much.
couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
And I mean, I lost the two games I lost to were the belt winners, and by 3 points each game.
Yeah, which you didn't even figure that out. And well, I mean, you knew that Serious Mo played you the first game, but the second game you didn't know that it
Yeah,
was
I didn't
Voltrax.
know
Yeah.
that it was Voltrax,
Yeah.
and honestly, if they took away abilities, I would be ecstatic. I know people are like, no, that makes the game fun. Sure, so have it for head-to-head mutt or whatever. That doesn't mean anything. Go do that. Like the crossing route where they hang on to it, or like the enforcer where they click off and hit you and you fumble. It's the dumbest thing ever. If
Yeah.
I could do two changes right away, no, I do three zones. Make zones better. Take away abilities and make user be important.
Yes. I agree. I think that, and like if we're gonna do abilities, because I think obviously whether you hate abilities or don't or like them, I don't really like them. But if they were to make it to where it was ratings like over abilities, then I don't think I would have as much as problem as they will. Like if Harrison Smith, for example, was like a 90 overall and his hit power was 89, but he had Enforcer, but because he doesn't meet that rating threshold, that means that it's not automatic that if he hits you, it's going to be a fumble. So I would just like to see the ratings have more of an impact than escape artists or this and that. So
I agree as well. I also think they need to, I don't know how to say it, dumb down conservative carrying. Like I don't think
yeah,
I hated the Gun Panther or Heavy Gun Panther with like Lamar or Michael Vick.
Vic,
Like you hit stick
yeah,
them and they don't really fumble because they're on conservative.
yeah. I agreed too. Um, I feel like in like for the coaching adjustments, I don't even really think it matters because well, I guess if you're on conservatives, then you don't fumble as much. But if you're on balance, then I still fumble quite a bit. So
I never had the problem of fumbling that much, even when I was on balance. But I also made sure to cover up almost every time.
yeah, it's definitely a skill to like maneuver and not get too carried away with making juke moves right before you're gonna get tackled. But in some cases, like maybe not like earlier in the year when you were, grinding, but like I found like later in the year, I could just like put my controller down. Like I could fumble, and if I would have put my controller down, the same result would have happened. So
Right.
yeah,
This game started out honestly as one of my favorites, and it went down to like the
yeah,
bottom of my favorites by the end. And it's not about being good or bad because I was actually pretty good this year until LCQ at the end. But
yeah,
it they just changed it too much. Like it's boring 3-4 pinch or 146, blitz everybody or whatever, but they took away the protection, the pinch protection.
Oh
When
yeah, and
they,
they replaced it with the double team feature.
yep,
Yeah.
exactly. When they had pinch protection, bro, I was killing everybody who was screaming 3-4 at me. I would pick it
Yeah.
up and I would be able to throw on it with ease. And then once they took away the pinch protection, I started struggling because, they're not pinching anymore. And then you're not IDing this guy and sliding it. Because what I do is I'd pinch protect, slide it one way, and then block the running back.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Anyways.
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel like that's another thing because I feel like, with passers, it's basically like you just have to know like the blocking scheme. Like, for me, I'm a runner mostly, so I don't know, but with the passers, they know like who to block and like how to slide protect and do all this other stuff. So that's probably the skill gap in that. But
Yeah. But, see, like, I still tell people it still affects pros that make the live event. Like the one guy told me, that's because you don't make a live event. And I said, okay. I go, that's fair. That's fair to say. I go, but then why are they running it against each other then? If it's not
yeah,
OP, why is Clef running 146?
yeah,
You know what I mean though? Like if it's not OP, they wouldn't be running it.
right. And I think, and that's why because I think with you, I have a lot of respect for because, and like just everybody in general, but I feel like you take accountability when something's your fault or you feel like you're not good, then you don't blame the game or say, oh, this guy sucks and this and that. So, but I think that's pretty important to like say, hey, I'm just not good or I need to get better, not just say, oh, the game sucks and this and that. So
Yeah, it's definitely huge, and it's a
yeah,
definitely a mindset. But I mean, if you're Kiv, for example, and you can cry, and then RG and Madden League OPS are like, we'll fix it for you. Why not cry? And I'm only using Kiv's example name because that's what I remember from that tweet.
right,
He was like, this is not fair. You got to fix this. You got to fix this. Whatever it was, formation or something, or it's
yeah,
OP.
something
And
like
anyways,
that.
and
Yeah.
RG's like, we got you. And Madden League OPS retweeted it, and I was like, wow. So I mean, I guess if I'm that, if I guess if I'm like Kiv or Skimbo, and it's gonna help me out, why not? If I can't
Yeah.
stop 3-4 pinch, and I'm like, this is OP no matter what I block, and I send them videos and they'll change it up for me, and I win a title. I mean, I guess so.
It's like hey, I'd do it too. Shit, I'd do.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So there was something else I kind of wanted to touch on, but I hate like when sometimes like you have something, but then you kind of get sidetracked. But
Oh
I feel
yeah.
like we yeah. So I feel like we covered this pretty intensely. One last thing before we cap this one off. So because I was talking to you earlier about how the trailer said in Madden 21, it's not about how it's not about what you see, but how you feel. Do you know what that means, or do you have any prediction? Because me personally, I have like no idea on what that could mean. So
I were they just promoting like for PS5 and the new Xbox?
yeah, it was like the first trailer that they released with Pat Mahomes. I don't know if you've seen it, but that's like
Maybe they'll do vibrations or heartbeats or something like that. Or maybe it
yeah, that's
reads how
true.
your body temperature is on the PlayStation controller. I have no idea. Or it could
Yeah,
just be a motto like, "Look how clean this game is. It looks so real that you feel like you're in the game."
yeah,
You see
yeah.
what I
Who
mean?
knows?
It's not what you
Yeah,
see; it's what you feel. Like, oh snap, this game looks so real. It's like I'm playing it live.
yeah. All right, and also one last thing because I'm just not remembering, but because we're at the end of Madden 20 really, but where does this rank? Like is Is it the best Madden you played? Is it the worst? Like where is it? Like in your opinion, where would you
Like
rank
number
it?
one was Madden 13 solely because I made Vegas.
Okay.
Madden 16 number two. Number three was Madden 18. Number four was Madden 19, and then number five was like Madden 20, and then six was Madden 17. At least what I'm going off of right
Okay.
now.
Okay. So in your opinion, Madden 17 was the worst
I hated that
recently.
game. I
Yeah.
couldn't wait for it to get over, just like this one.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for me, I think Madden 18. I think that this game's better than Madden 18. Madden 19, I don't really remember a whole lot. Like, I didn't really play Madden 19 until like late of the year, really.
It
But
was just Bunch Bro and Pat Sales, rinse and repeat.
that's all it
And
is, over and
I
over.
think big nickel on defense.
Right.
But man, I
All
can't wait
right.
till it starts, bro, so we can have stuff to talk about longer.
Yeah, for sure. But we appreciate you guys for coming in the stream. Those are that are going to be checking this one out on the flip side when it's already done. I appreciate you guys. So we should be back here around this time, same time, 5 o'clock Pacific time for another episode of the West Coast Madden Podcast. So I'm gonna throw it over to Shane to close this out if he doesn't have anything more to say.
No, you know what? I think we're good, you guys. We're definitely in our off season. I know the Madden Bowl is still going on, but that's literally for like the go-getters. I mean, most people have moved on either to different games, but you know, we're keeping it alive, you guys. Hopefully, in the next month, it will be starting to pick up with the beta, and then we can talk about that, and then you know Madden 21 drops, and then we can talk about all the tournaments again. But for Trey, I'm Shanegotyou11, and this was the West Coast Podcast. We will see you guys May 21st at 5 p.m. Pacific time.